YouTube pards. Jack Spade here with you with High Noon Leatherworx again. Coming to you today to work on the wallet, the Western wallet. And we're going to do a little bit of grooving today for our stitching grooves. Come on in and we'll get started. Alright, we have our pieces cut out now to make our Western wallet. And the next thing we're going to be doing is taking our grooving tool and we're going to start grooving some lines for our stitching. So a small precision flat top screwdriver, flat screwdriver, and that's what's going to allow me to adjust the grooving tool. So I'll just loosen the screw up in the end of the grooving tool, and then I can set how far away from the side I want my grooves for my stitching, and I'm going to set these approximately 1/8 of an inch, not quite, in from the side, because I have to make sure that I allow for plenty of spacing for the cards that slide in these card holders. So I don't want to go too wide, or then what I do is I end up taking my stitching in too far and then my cards won't fit. And I do try to keep the card handy. I do have a couple of Tandy leather gift cards that are used, that I hang on to for positioning and for sizing. So if I bring those in 1/8 of an inch or close to 1/8 of an inch, then that's going to still allow me plenty of room for my cards to fit in. So you always want to double check those. So that's the first thing I'll do, is I'll go ahead and groove the card holder inserts. And I'm going to groove those on each side and the bottom. That's where they'll be stitched. And I'll try not to groove all the way to the end of the piece. I just think it looks sharper and more professional if you stop before you get to the end, and that your grooves run nice and straight but don't run off of the piece. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Instead of continuing at this point, I'll turn my grooving, or my piece, against my grooving tool, and then the only place it's actually going to run off would be the top side. Let me see if I can get it close enough to the camera to show it, but you can see when I get down here close to the corner, right here and right here, I don't run those off the edge, and it just makes for a sharper stitch. But when I get up here to the top, I do run it off of the edge. So that's what I'm talking about. And again, you can take, once you have those grooves, or when you're measuring for those grooves where your stitches go, you could take your card and lay it in there, and you get a pretty good idea whether you're going to have plenty of room for cards after you put your stitches in those lines, or in those grooves. So there's one. I'll go ahead and do the second one. Again, you can continue, you can turn that piece, that insert, and continue grooving. I'll stop if I can't turn it and continue grooving. Like on that one, it was fine. On the last one, I couldn't continue. I'll just go ahead and pull a piece off out of my grooving tool, and then I'll start the other direction. So that one's finished. Now we'll do the same thing on the bill inserts. These bill inserts are thinner leather than the outside of the wallet, but they still need to be grooved because I'm going to have to sew these all the way around. So again, I'm going to start at the top, groove all the way around, and come back off of this end. There won't be any grooves across the very top of it. Using the same spacing as I did for the card inserts. These are rounded corner, or at least the bottom one is, so it's going to take a little more turning when I get to that corner, and then I'm hitting another straightaway here down this long stretch, and then I come to the second corner, and it's so much easier to turn the piece that you're grooving. You can see the grooves here and across the bottom down here, and then it comes all the way up the other side. So just like the card insert, lay that back where it goes. Now on this one I have to be careful because I'm actually going to stitch the top and not the bottom. So my stitching won't come across here because that's where the bills go in. So I have to do my stitching across the top on this one, so I have to be a little more careful and turn it around so I don't mess that up. Still start off at the top. Now this one is rectangled in shape. It doesn't have any rounded corners or edges. My tool got clogged up there. Alright, so turn that around, that goes on top, like so. So there's all my pieces that the grooving done, and they're ready now to be stamped. And I'll actually have to stamp or my holes, put my holes in for stitching. I'll have to put those through these two pieces so I can sew them together before I come back and do the outside, because if I do that first I won't be able to get in here and do these stitches. So I'll actually have to do this first. So I'll have to do these two pieces, then these two pieces, then come back and do the bill inserts onto the actual wallet itself. So that will be in the next video, and we'll actually go through and I'll show you how to put all the holes in for stitching. So we've got all of our grooving done, ready to come back next time and put in our holes for our stitching. Thanks for coming in, thanks for joining me, and until next time, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on down the trail.